I know.
Okay, hey everybody, welcome to this month's podcast. A little bit different of a podcast because we are in the van coming from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and unfortunately I ran into technical difficulties with two of my interviews, Danny Estrada from C.R. Lawrence and Casey Anderson from ICD. Those interviews, the audio was garbled and I'm not sure why. So I owe both of them a retake somewhere down the line, but you will hear from some other folks that were on this incredible van trip and also sponsoring this van trip, and some good stuff ahead, and a little bit of a bonus too, where Casey Anderson actually interviews me. The microphone actually worked there. I wish it would have worked for my interview with Casey. ICD has some really good things coming up at the show. So does CRL. Please check out their booths, and I apologize to both companies for the fact that their podcast interview did not come through correctly. Again, it was a new challenge of doing something on the road. Two worked and two didn't, and I don't know why. So we'll keep figuring that out, but I will make it up to you guys. But do check out both companies, crlawrence.com, icdcoatings.com. Check them out online and go see their booths on the floor. You can't miss either one of them. CRL's is always very popular in the middle of the floor, and ICD has something really dynamic and special on the floor. And so please check them out, and my apologies on the audio issue there. Now we'll just go to the interviews, both that I did in the van and then two of the folks that could not make it. One of them actually did end up making it, but I had pre-recorded his interview, Carl Christ, Patrick Elmore from Infinite Recycling Technologies, and then Casey Anderson interviewing me, and me interviewing Kendall Rowe of Rowe Fenestration and Glass Pro. Let's get it going with that, and I will see you on the other side. Thanks. Background there, that is Patrick Elmore. He, as you will see a little bit later on in this podcast, he was not able to make it. That is his cardboard/plastic cutout. So it's a little creepy the way he's staring over. The last but not least here in the van, Kendall Rowe, another recurring podcast appearance for you. You were, I think, on my second or third episode ever. It was great to have you on then. It's fantastic to have you on now. Thanks again for sponsoring the van and being involved.
Well, I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. So this van trip, what do you think so far?
It's pretty epic. Been lots of laughs. Not everything's been caught on camera.
Thank goodness, probably.
It's been very fun. I like it a lot. And then all the little field trips and the glass bottle tree place thing, that was definitely one of my favorite spots.
Great way to get pumped up for GlassBuild too.
Absolutely.
So for you, for Rofen, you guys are ambassadors for GlassBuild. You spread the word year round for the show, for NGA, so thank you for doing that. What are you excited about for GlassBuild? You know, you've got a lot to see, obviously.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like, you know, I've been kind of on the back burner for a little while with all of the not being able to go out and see people as much as I want to, and this is going to be a blast into being an extrovert again. So I'm very excited about that. I love sitting in on all the classes. I'm going to the forum, the executive forum, and I'm going to take a lot of the classes and go to see a lot of the speakers, which I always learn so much there about the market and talking points and things to, you know, give value to our customers when I meet with them and bring it back to them as well if they don't make it to the show. So I'm really excited.
Fantastic. And plus you'll be at the Women in Glass and Fenestration session on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
10 a.m. Vegas time, so that'll be great. And that's one of the highlights for me of this session. I can't wait to see everybody that shows up for that. That's Wednesday, and so I know you're looking forward to that as well.
Very much looking forward to that one.
So talk about Rowe and Rowe Fenestration. Been a good year, I assume?
Yeah, we're doing good. We've definitely gone through some transition with some of our vendor partners, but we are hitting the ground running and doing really well. And the design world in LA is absolutely going bonkers. So it's just a good omen.
and one of your partners is the legendary Joe Green in Glass Pro. Now, I doubt Joe would ever listen to one of my podcasts. He would probably have to be he would probably have to be nailed down to listen to it, sort of thing. But I'm a big Joe Green guy, and Glass Pro is an incredible company. Obviously, you got people really excited about what they're doing right now.
Yes, absolutely. We're just upping our game in everything, and we have great new marketing materials to show off our stuff. Our Bird Glass is doing really well. Our flawless. It's really beautiful stuff. So it's been a very it's been a good. It just keeps getting better.
Yeah, the bird friendly is strong, the decorative strong. Everything that's going on there is really good. And Stephanie Aldretti is just a rock star. So.
She really is. She's such an asset. I'm so glad that we have her. Absolutely.
No doubt. And what excites you for next year? Anything specific for 2023?
Just growing and learning more and meeting more people and getting, fostering those relationships. And that's really what it's all about.
Awesome. Well, we will see you on the show floor. Look forward to that. And hopefully, again, have you back on the traditional podcast someday soon. But thank you for doing this, and thanks for the support of NGA and GlassBuild.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, Max, we're heading into GlassBuild. We're driving to Vegas. What on God's green earth did you say yes to in getting into this van?
I have no idea. Anybody who knows me knows this is as far from my comfort level as possible. But because Andrew Herring is the most gracious and most enthusiastic and convincing person, I walk across hot coals for him. So that's why I'm here.
Absolutely incredible.
And I love what you've done, Casey. This layout is spectacular, so I do give you full credit for that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. What is the key item that you are most looking forward to at GlassBuild?
I mentioned it earlier with Kendall. I'm really excited for the Women in Glass and Fenestration. It means so much. Melanie Detmer from NGA really helped launch that. Andrew did a great job of bringing some massive organizations into it. And this thing is something I really care about. I want more and more women in our industry to be involved. So that's really first and foremost. But I just love the atmosphere on the floor. I love to see the exhibitors and walk and talk, and it feels like a big homecoming in a way to be able to connect with everybody. And so between this and the fall and BEC in the spring, it's just it's what energizes me for the entire year.
That's awesome. And working with the NGA team, is there any other shout outs other than Melanie and Andrew that we want to make?
Love them all, but I mean, Mel and Andrew are my ride or dies. I'm honored to be on their team. And I'm honored that they let me be on their team because they are so hardcore, and I'm like Mr. Rogers on steroids. So it's kind of difficult, but love working with them. But love working with the pubs people. Katie Devlin's one of the most talented people in our world. Obviously, it's an honor to work for Nicole Harris, and so it's a pleasure and an honor to be involved with NGA and be involved in this industry.
There's a couple events, I think, coming into the GlassBuild. There's the Meet the Editors event as well. And is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Meet the Editors is huge. And then there's a mental health piece that Dustin Anderson is heading up, and Steve Dillon from VECA. Really, really important. Mental health is a massive issue in this country and obviously in our industry. And again, I think it's something that some people may not want to talk about, but we're bringing those experts together to kind of hash it out and let people know it's you can feel comfortable talking about it. And Dustin's a good man, and it'll be good to have him back in the show and help leading this discussion.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely love having you here, and we're thrilled that we're making our way to Vegas for GlassBuild 2022.
Honored to be in a van with all of you guys. It's awesome. Thank you.
Woo!
Okay, so we're in the middle of this adventure to GlassBuild, the van ride to GlassBuild, and one of our sponsors and one of the folks that couldn't make it, which might have been a really good decision. I don't know. We'll see when this is all over, is Patrick Elmore, president of Infinite Recycle Technologies. You can find them on the web at www.infiniterecycletech.com. And I'm thrilled to get to talk to you. I wish I was next to you in the van, but I will see you at GlassBuild. But I'm thrilled to get to talk to you and get to learn a little bit more about you. Thanks for doing the podcast.
Thank you. I know I will be replaced by a beautiful cardboard cutout of myself. Hopefully it gets some good use.
I'm afraid to see, we're recording this before the van takes off, and I'm really afraid to see what happens to those cardboard cutouts when all is said and done. Hopefully it makes it to GlassBuild. It'll be very interesting.
Well, I saw yesterday on LinkedIn that Andrew plans to burn them somewhere. So
in the desert, in the desert. I just wonder if he's going to leave me in the desert. That's going to be the
right. So that was my biggest fear. I was like, I'll send a cardboard. That way, if I get left in the desert, I'm safe.
You're a smart man. You're a smart man. Well, first and foremost, thank you for sponsoring the van, and thank you for the support of GlassBuild. That's the big thing. I appreciate that. Thank you. And so really the big kickoff for me is that for those of us who don't know what you do, a little elevator pitch on what does Infinite Recycled Technologies do. I've seen, like, for instance, my friend James Wright from Virginia Glass stopped by your booth last year, had a great post on LinkedIn that went, kind of viral. He was amazed too. But talk to people about what you all do, and really how amazing it is for our universe.
Sure. Well, I guess we're best known for our glass recycling. We do recycle the really hard to do stuff. We started Infinite to recycle the laminated glass. We invented a machine here that will delaminate the glass and make for clean color again. Same with the IGUs and mirrors and stuff like that. We're able to separate and make for clean color again. So it's very awesome. We're super excited to do it. We are actually part of a 140-some-year-old family-owned business.
Okay.
Been in recycling, started for the Mayo Clinic back in 1882.
Nice.
And we still recycle them today. 3 years ago, some of our ferrous, non-ferrous metal customers asked if we could help them find an outlet for this laminated glass. And well, we researched for quite a while and couldn't find anybody to do laminate. So we saw a need and decided to fill the need, and here we are today.
Wonderful. Yeah. And obviously laminated is a hot product, so there's going to be a lot of recycling involved with it. So it's a smart move by you for sure. Very exciting. So how is everything going? I mean, this is you're part of a huge long-term business dating back to the 1880s. Now, it's crazy times in 2022. Right. How's it going for you guys?
It couldn't be better. We've been at this 3 years. We've been able to expand to a new location in Florida as well as Minnesota. We're close to getting a new location in New York.
Okay.
And looking to move on further from there and eventually over in Europe.
I'm liking the strategy. I'm liking the strategy, the Florida location to match up with the Minnesota location. That had nothing to do with the weather difference between the two locations.
It was not a huge deciding factor, but it sure didn't hurt.
So I'm guessing February you'll be found you have to go visit the Florida facility.
Yes. Jeremiah, who was our CEO, him or I are usually down there monthly. It's kind of an argument over the winter months who gets to stay the longest, but we make do.
I like it. Very cool. And so what's on tap for GlassBuild? What do it's just more of an educational thing for you to show what you guys do, or is there anything special in your booth this year at GlassBuild?
We're super excited for GlassBuild. It has been just a phenomenal add-on to our business and creating awareness. So each year we do GlassBuild. It is to help create the awareness of hard to recycle glass and the strong need to do it. We set up a booth last year. This year was our second year. Super excited to be there and help create that awareness. Let everybody know there is an outlet for this glass. Glass is one of the most amazing products on the planet. It can be recycled an infinite amount of times, hence our name.
Nice.
And it's just great. There's so many end users out there that can use the cullet as far as new glass, container glass, highway striping, media blasting. I mean, it's just endless.
And that's a big piece. I don't think people realize that it can be used for more than just recycling new glass. You did find other outlets for this.
Yes, yeah, we do have found quite a few. We send rail cars out daily of cullet across the U.S. to go into different markets.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And what's got you excited? I mean, about 2023. Obviously, you've got the new location in Florida. You mentioned that you're looking at New York. You mentioned overseas. Those are obviously things I'm sure that has you excited about the future. But 2023, what's got you and the team pumped up about?
Man, 2023 is going to be great. The expanding. We're on our prototype number 3 of our machine. We've been running it really hard and learning and making it bigger. All the new glass companies out there and manufacturers and fabricators and glazers, just to be able to do this and be able to do it on a wider spread is just exciting. The expansions are great. Building codes are changing like crazy. We've got There's amazing bird-friendly glass coming around. That's doing just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The special hurricane glass for, unfortunate places down around Florida who got hit by Ian.
Sure.
Those codes are changing too to help these people be even more protected. So it's the glass companies are moving fast, and we're trying to keep up.
So just curious because again, this is a little different than my normal podcast, but I'm really curious. Where did you come from? How did you make it from where you were to being able to wear the Glass Nerd hat? You said to me before we recorded, you think you're number 8, which is like, that is rarefied air. You're in the single digits.
Yeah.
So that's huge. But I'd love to know a little bit about your past.
Sure. I mean, I've been in sales, different areas of sales since I was a teenager. I actually met Jeremiah Watson, who was part of the Watson recycling crew. He was one of my customers. I was a general manager of a fuel company selling fuel. He happened to be one of my good customers. Man, we just got along so great, and we're able to just vibe on the same level. And just came to 2 one day. We're talking about adding on and expanding on the Watson side, and boy, I jumped at the opportunity to be able to join this family-owned business, and they've been amazing.
Definitely, it's a great business. And again, I'm with Patrick Elmore. He was part of our van to GlassBuild. So a lot of you are listening to this on your way to the show. President of Infinite Recycled Technologies. Find them on the web at infiniterecycledtech.com. And I'm thrilled that you're on here with us, and I really appreciate the way you support the industry. Again, you're active on LinkedIn. You do these shows. You come to the conferences. You deserve to wear that hat. Because you did throw yourself into it. And I think it's interesting. You're not somebody who's a lifer in our industry, but in a very short time, I think you've really put yourself deep into our world.
Yeah. No, that's. I tell you what, I couldn't be any happier to be part of the industry. Just a quick little story. I've told this story 100 times, and I'll tell it again for forever. This happened. It's almost been a year ago now. My daughter had asked me. My daughter's 8 years old. She was 7 then. Said, "Daddy, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to be?" And I've always had these jobs that I've always thought, man, I've always wanted to be a fighter pilot. Top Gun's my favorite movie, and I was like, oh man, But I took a couple minutes and thought about it, and I was like, well, geez, that's a good one, honey.
Yeah.
And then I finally answered. I said, you know what? I'm doing it. This is my dream job.
Nice.
There's nothing else on earth I'd want to do. Just to be able to take something that's been going to the landfill for many, many years and be able to reuse it over and over. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but a glass bottle in a landfill takes an estimated 1 million years to break down. Glass will never decompose.
Right.
It takes about 1 million years. Now, if you find some of these companies sending 20, 30 ton a day, 7 days a week to the landfill, adds up over time.
Sure. Yeah, it really does. It really does. And the saying is, once you get in the glass industry, you don't get out.
Yeah.
You're with us forever, my friend.
That's my dream. Yep. Yeah. I want to be here forever. I want to support, all the amazing manufacturers and fabricators and glazers out there and installers. They do such a wonderful job, all these retrofits and new buildings and stuff like that. So to be a part of that and help create that longer in the future is pretty awesome.
No, it is. And now I have to ask, because Top Gun, I love Top Gun myself. I love the movie. And after we saw the latest one, my son, who's ultra creative, decided that we all have to get call signs, call names. and so it's funny because he gave, for my wife, it's Sarge, because she orders him around like crazy.
There you go.
He's very confident. So he's alpha. My brain is a struggle. So I'm mush. So I'm curious, since the fighter pilot, what is your call name? I mean, I'm really curious. Have you come up with one yet?
I'm very disappointed now that you asked that question, because I just have not. I guess I've never thought of it.
Okay.
I could recite both movies word for word, but.
All right. Well, you've got a need for speed, and we have a need for, when I see you at GlassBuild, and I will report back on a future podcast or a blog, what your call name is.
I will.
you
I will
now
have it for sure.
You have to start noodling this. Talk to the 8-year-old. Talk to the family. But you have to come up with it. I'm confident you'll come up with a doozy. I mean, you want to be a fighter pilot, you have to have a get a good name. So.
Yes, absolutely. I may even get it engraved on my shirt for GlassBuild.
There you go. I love it. Well, this has been great. I think in the future, I'd like to have you on my traditional podcast to dive deep into recycling. So we'll definitely do that. But Patrick Elmore, president of Infinite Recycled Technologies, infiniterecycledtech.com online. I'll miss you in the van, but I look forward to seeing the show, and I can't wait to hear what your call name's going to be. This is
absolutely awesome. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you. So we are ready to continue on this van adventure. One of the fine folks that sponsored the van is Diamond Fusion International, DFI. You can find them online at dfisolutions.com. I've got their VP of Technical Services and Business Development, Carl Christ, who is a legend. You see him everywhere. You also see Cindy Sim, but you see Carl usually in a machine, on a machine, under a machine, all over the place. Carl, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to talk with me on the road to GlassBuild.
Of course. Thank you, Max. I'm honored to be on here. Thank you. Really appreciate the opportunity very much. And before we go any further, I just wanted to briefly say our hearts go out to the folks that have been impacted by Hurricane Ian. And we encourage anybody to follow us and help support the relief efforts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. And there are a few good relief efforts, including a GoFundMe, which I'll have on my blog from Bill Dobman and his family. But thank you. That's good on you and good on DFI. DFI is always there. I give you credit for that. The team there has always stepped up. And so let's talk first and foremost. Thank you for sponsoring GlassBuild and this van. We really appreciate your support. I assume you guys are excited about the show.
Very much so. It dawned on me. I mean, GlassBuild's huge for us. We love GlassBuild. It's ever so exciting, and we're only 9 days, maybe 2 weeks away. Less than that, actually. I think at this point. Although we're on a van on the way there right now.
Right.
But in any event, I was thinking about how GlassBuild is kind of like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas holidays all wrapped into one. It's like Halloween because people are wearing their company costumes, they're wearing their badges, they might be wearing masks still.
Yeah, true.
And they're going around picking up candy from booth to booth and pins and whatnot. So it's like Halloween in that way. It's like Thanksgiving, especially this year, because everybody's so grateful to be there. And it's like Christmas because we're all giving each other gifts, knowledge and tools and exchanging machinery, if you will. And it's a little bit like New Year's as well, because once it's over, we might be a little hungover maybe, but we're still looking forward to it next year. So GlassBuild reminds me of that.
I like that. I like that. It is also a fresh start too. So, once you finish with GlassBuild, you're ready to go into the new year and everything. And so that's, you nailed it. And on the candy aspect, I did see on social media that you guys had little goodie bags for your customers. So I'm sure there'll be some sweet things to get when you visit the DFI booth. And, so you sponsored this van and you were supposed to be on it, but I know you're busy because I look at the map behind you and I joke with you when you first jumped on. Those are all the places you're supposed to be in the next week. Everything
Almost.
And I feel like it is. I feel like you get like 1 million frequent flyer miles a year. So you couldn't make it on the van. So that's why we've got you here to talk a little bit. We do have your cardboard cutout though.
Oh yeah, that's right. My cardboard cutout. If I don't make the van, there's a possibility I still might be on there. So this all be up for naught, except one less interview you have to do during the thing. So it looks so exciting, so much fun. I want to be able to make it. It's just a logistical issue.
Yeah.
And there's some truth to the fact that I do travel quite a bit, without a doubt.
No doubt. And so let's talk about DFI. Again, you can find Carl's company online, the whole team, Cindy and everybody that you see online on social media, but their website, dfisolutions.com. It's one of the better websites in our industry. Big fan of that. So let's talk about what you've got going on. Lots of exciting stuff. What is on tap for the show for people that stop by your booth?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us people to get up close and personal with our latest and greatest incarnation of the Fuse Cube, the Fuse Cube Express. We unveiled it for the first time last year in Atlanta. Of course, it wasn't as well attended as we'd hope, understandably, given where we were at with the pandemic and so forth. But so we feel like we get a relaunch in that regard. I don't know if you know, but it's been wildly successful. We're, knock on wood, very grateful for that. When we came up with this little over right before the pandemic. We had no idea how well it would do. And, I don't want to, it's just done remarkably well. And again, keeps me on my toes. And when you talk about me being underneath the fuse cube, sometimes it feels like that because when it first became my baby, I felt a little bit like the Wicked Witch of the West when Dorothy drops the house on.
Yes.
And those are my feet sticking out underneath the fuse cube, but I'm on top of it now. So it's about showing the Fuse Cube Express and everything else we have to offer. It's an interesting point though. Just this morning, I can't say who, but we just got, as well as Express has been doing, we just got an order from one of our oldest customers for one of our older models, the bigger, larger 125 light fuse cube. So just got that this morning. So that's extremely exciting.
And I think the space itself, I think people are really, starting to engage on the need for, the protection on glass. And I think that's why you're seeing this, correct? You've got more and more people understanding why it's important.
Absolutely. A little background for on my side is, I don't know, I probably told you this before, but I actually started out as a customer of Diamond Fusions.
Did not know that.
22 years ago. Yes.
Okay.
After doing a lot of different things in life, I ended up owning a window cleaning business in Santa Cruz, California.
Okay. And
I became one of the early on-site applicators. I actually had a fuse cube in my hand by way of a clear box. And I had all the nitrogen tank on me and all the bells and whistles. I looked a little like Ghostbusters. And I'd go in and I'd fuse shower doors. My window cleaning customers' shower doors. I'd end up doing their cars or boats or whole house, what have you. So I have a lot of real world experience with the coating, and it makes complete sense on shower doors without a doubt. And that's our biggest application by far. However, as a window cleaner, I knew that it really shined, if you will, on exterior glazing as well. Sure. Railings where both sides are dirty and hard to clean. So that coating our coating, Diamond Fusion, does a remarkable job of protecting that glass, be it on a window, on a boat, on a shower door, and reducing the cleaning, particularly on windows as well. We've done, among other things, a lot of what I've done in the past are large commercial projects, and among them was Nike, where we did 7 buildings there, year after year, a new building where we went in and we mobilized and we got our lifts, our 120-foot lifts, 80-foot. We had guys on scaffolds, whatnot, and we would restore the windows because Nike's beautiful, but their windows look terrible from the leaching from the precast. And they didn't know what to do about it. So I showed them how we could restore it and treat it and arrest the situation and beautify the campus all the more. So they loved it. And so we went, like I said, every year we started with the John McEnroe. And then the last year was their biggest building, the Michael Jordan.
They're all named after the athletes. Absolutely. And I think, that you bring up a really good point, because leaching something that's always been around, obviously, but the issue now, I think, is more pronounced because natural light is so important to everyone. So people are looking out their windows more. They want more light coming in. So they're noticing the glass more. And if there is a leaching situation, a stain or anything like that, and that's where the protective coating angle is coming in more and more now versus, 10 years ago, sort of thing.
Absolutely. These windows today are very high performance, and to make them perform their best, they should be staying clean. Yeah. And that's what our coating does. Keeps it cleaner and reduces maintenance and prevents scratching, among so many other things. Getting back to the idea of it becoming more and more ubiquitous, the coating for glass. 25 years ago when Diamond Fusion started, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary, by the way.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. A lot of people were resistant to the idea of even putting on shower doors. Now you can't not put it on a shower door.
Right.
So in the last few years, getting back to my what I was talking about, exterior glazing in particular, you're now seeing people come around to that idea that, of course, protect it.
No doubt. And I love, I did not know that about you, that you love the product so much you ended up going to work with the company. So that's pretty darn cool. And so when did you join DFI? So you said this was about 22 years ago that you were doing the window cleaning. Did you join, when did you join DFI? Can you remember?
Well, they brought me in-house about 15 years ago, I guess. Okay. And at that time it was, particularly, I was heading up what I did was I used the technology to invent something. We actually patented it worldwide. Okay. I created a couple other things, but this one product. It was called Visual Ice.
Okay.
And it's kind of a play on visualizing something, but using cold air. You go to a freezer door, for example, in a grocery store, and you know when you open it up, it fogs up.
Yeah.
Well, now using Diamond Fusion or using our coating, I could create images, whatever you wanted, a Budweiser bottle, a Shrek, you name it, to advertise things in the freezer or anywhere in the store. And so we had a considerable amount of success, so much so that they had to bring me down and I kind of had to leave everything behind.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing that could ever happen. And I've never looked back. So
I love it. I love it. And
so we had go ahead.
I know, I love it. I couldn't imagine the company without you. Again, you are a big part of it, just like some of the others I mentioned, previously. I think it all kind of, flows nicely together with your efforts and your energy that you put out there. And that's what I like. I'm a big industry guy. And again, I appreciate what DFI does to support the industry. And I love what you are out there constantly. I think those pictures speak a million words. When you're standing there with a customer next to one of your machines, the rest of the industry sees that, and it shows that, hey, we're trying to continue to evolve, diversify, grow, do things. And so I give you guys major kudos for that. It's brilliant strategy, and good for our world.
Thank you, Max. No, I'm nothing if not passionate about Diamond Fusion and our company. We got a great group, tight-knit, very, everybody wears a lot of hats and everybody's on their toes. So I'm just grateful to have what happened for me. And there's a little bit of backstory. It turns out, you'll love this. So here I am, a licensee, if you will. I owned the territory back then. That's how that's how you did it. And I didn't realize it, but until sometime later on, that the CEO was an old friend of mine from college.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And he used to actually come and see my band back in the day. And he actually helped me with a contract that we were signing with the management company and so forth. And we had lost touch with each other for 20 years. And then when I realized, oh my God, Adam, it's you, Adam Zacks, our CEO. Yeah. I said, Adam, I got some great, I'm glad we got connected. This is crazy. This is meant to happen, I guess. And I said, I got some ideas for you. And one of them was the one I just told you about with the freezer doors. And it's just been, like I said, serendipitous and meant to be.
So I got to ask, what was the name of the band? What was the, tell me.
Well, I had a few, but the one that was probably most noteworthy was called the Medflies.
The Medflies.
And yes, we were kind of the band in the Monterey Bay, Santa Cruz area. We'd open for everybody that came through there. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Joan Jett, Toto, Night Ranger. We toured with the Tubes. Do you remember the Tubes?
Yes, I absolutely rember the Tubes, for
yeah,
sure.
We're still good friends with them. Whenever they come into town, I go see them and catch up. But we toured with them for a couple years, mostly on the West Coast area. I could tell you some stories.
Oh, I can imagine you could say just from the groups you listed, you could tell me some stories. And I'm just thinking of Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers hanging out with the Medflies. So
Flea was kind of a rough character actually during that show. He was a little gruff. I don't know. I think they were in the throes of their issues at that time.
Well. If you've seen any of the Woodstock '99 documentaries, Flea had some adventures. I mean, he played an entire set nude.
I saw that.
He played the entire set. Yeah, he played the entire set nude. I mean, the guy had some issues. Definitely lived an interesting life.
But when we opened for him, they did the whole sock thing, the tube sock.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was about that time period.
Unreal. Well, you do have some stories. You know what? Go to the DFI booth, visit Carl, visit the team, and get some good Medfly stories too while you're learning about the Fuse Cube Express and some of the other products. And we see if you were in the van, you know what? It might be good that you're not in the van, because all of my focus would have been on you asking about different stories of all these groups that you played with and your musical career. So the other 6 people in the van now are probably happy that I'm not like fanboying over you the entire time.
Well, we can do that. If you like, I'd love to talk about those times. A lot of people don't want to hear about it, but if you want to hear about it, I can tell you about it. As a matter of fact, ironically, I'm thinking about posting an old PSA I did back home, well before Rock the Vote came out on MTV.
Yeah.
And I was basically encouraging people to vote, and it's got clips of me performing and stuff. I think I might post that on LinkedIn around election time.
I think you need to do that. I'm thrilled to have you here. It was Carl Christ of Diamond Fusion International. Find them online, dfisolutions.com. They're sponsoring the van, sponsor of GlassBuild. You can find them on the floor at GlassBuild. Sir, last question. thoughts for 2023? You guys excited for it? What's on tap for 2023 in DFI?
We're always just up to something, Max. I can't really. It's coming to fruition as of actually this morning. Once again, this is how things happen for us. There was we've been doing our homework, our due diligence, our proof of concept, and so forth. So I can't give it away, but working on something that's very exciting. We'll see what happens, but that's about all I can say in that regard.
And you got me flea again. You said, give it away now. So
way to wrap it up, Max.
Man, the mush brain is working here today. So that's good. I look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas. I look forward to seeing the show, stopping by the booth. Thank you so much for everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you. Okay, so there you go. We wrap this up with me saying goodbye. Surprise there at the end, at least of the van talk, with me getting some questions. So I enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. More traditional podcasts coming up in November. A couple great guests lined up. Looking forward to that. Really looking forward to GlassBuild. If you're listening to this ahead of GlassBuild, look for me on the floor. I look forward to catching up with you there. Going to be a great show. Thank you so much for the support, and we will see you next time.
Oh, the music is stopped.